Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's demonstration. Let me share my screen with you. My name is Lisa Hill. Just making sure everything's working properly here as I'm getting situated. I hope you're all having a nice week. Today we're going to be talking about community competitions in the public library. I want to tell you a little bit about myself, and we will dive into this presentation. It should be about 30 minutes today, and I hope it's lighthearted for you and give you some fun ideas about how you can engage with your public library community, particularly the teens. We do have a live chat box. I invite you to ask questions. I cannot promise that I will answer every single question, but I will promise that all of your questions will be answered, even if it means I have to follow up with you after the demonstration. So please feel free to brain dump any question that you have in there. I'll answer what I can live, and what I can't answer, I will send you follow up on. All right. Me, I'm Lisa Hill. I'm the product marketing manager for the public library market here at Infobase. I've been working first at Credo. Many of you know Credo Reference. This was recently purchased by Infobase in the past couple of years. And I worked there for about 15 years before I came over. But before that, I was a children's and young adult librarian in public libraries in Massachusetts. I've maintained my children's librarian cred, if you will, by subbing on Sundays in the children's room as a substitute children's librarian. So I'm still kind of have my fingers dipped in there. But my presentation today kind of marries my experience, my current experience with my past experience, dealing with these great databases that we have here at Infobase and kind of marrying it to the idea working with teens specifically. One thing I learned every single day working as a young adult librarian in Massachusetts was the kids that hang out at the library after school have two things in abundance. One, they've got time. And two, they've got creativity, like jumping off. So getting them engaged in the library is a great way to kind of get them to stop running around the library and screaming and stuff like that. So let's take a look at what we'll be looking at today. And first I want to talk a little bit about what Infobase is as a company. I like this image very much because it grounds us in our history, if you will. If you're over a certain age, you know who this gentleman is. If you're younger than a certain age, this is Walter Cronkite. And in the beginning years of television news, he was one of the United States' most trusted voices. And right over his shoulder there, you can see a bunch of binders in blue that say facts on file. So that is at our heart, what we are is a company that provides fact-based informational and educational content. We've been doing that since 1940. We're celebrating our 80th birthday, I think, soon. If I scroll here, sorry about that. And now what are we in 2020? We're no longer printing those blue binders, but we are still a trusted resource. We're an award-winning reference and educational resource provider, databases, streaming video, and ebook collections. We now have over 100 products serving K-12 libraries, public libraries, and academic libraries. And of course, all of our products are built around the mission to support the needs of students and researchers in accessing educational content from anywhere. Scroll ahead here. We take our reputation very seriously, and we are constantly improving our products, winning awards, which we're proud of. Those are the products that won the awards. Here are the awards themselves. And our customers are in very good company. This is just a handful of the public libraries that we work with around the world. But since we have such a short amount of time today, let's dive into what we are going to talk about. We're going to talk about two contest tests, that I have run both as a teen librarian and as a product specialist working at Credo for all those years. The first thing we're going to talk about is a mind map poetry contest put out by Credo Reference. And the second we're going to talk about is a contest called Go Viral at Your Library, which I realize is a terrible title in 2020. But back in 2011, when we first ran it, it was really a great title. You can name it whatever you want to name it, but the idea is get those teens to make creative videos and reward them. And the sneaky thing is, you're going to get the kids to use the library resources by having these contests, because they have to in order to participate. We're going to touch briefly on Credo first. Let me see if I scroll ahead here. And we're going to talk about the mind map poetry contest that we ran here at Credo many years ago. And I want to make sure I make this clear. Infobase is not currently hosting any contests. So today's demonstration is about giving you ideas and materials that you can use to hold contests on your own. But currently Infobase is not hosting anything. But I do want to jump into Credo Reference first, and let's talk about this mind map poetry contest. I'm going to open up my browser here. For those of you that don't know what Credo Reference is, let me quickly give you a little elevator pitch. We are a research starting point where we have 1,300 currently. You can see right in the search box where it says 1327. 1,300 full-text encyclopedias and dictionaries coming from over 100 publishers of English language reference content in over 80 subject areas. So think of us as an academic alternative to Wikipedia. I'm going to show you quickly this all titles link here, because if your physical library is closed, Credo Reference is a fantastic resource because we have a ton of these nonfiction ebooks, reference ebooks that maybe you have on the shelf, but your patrons can't access. So I'd invite you to just explore this area. And when you run a search in Credo Reference, what you're doing is you're searching all of these books all at once for whatever it is you are doing research on. For any of the children's librarians in on the call, we've got Dorling Kindersley eyewitness content here that you can search and browse. Each book has an individual table of contents page that you can link to directly. So I just wanted to give you an overview of what Credo Reference is, right? A bookshelf, 1,300 full text encyclopedias, dictionaries, nonfiction content in over 80 subject areas that will allow you to bring your students somewhere other than Wikipedia so they can get fact-based background information on any topic that they can cite. All right, so what's the mind map? I brought you somewhere your students will probably never go, right? I clicked on this little hamburger icon and I clicked on all titles. But most people will come to Credo Reference, find that search box and just start typing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to run a search on jazz. So what I'm doing is I'm searching 1,300 encyclopedias and dictionaries, that list that I just showed you. And we're going to return any results from that list of books that happens to have, jazz content. But what I want to show you today is the mind map. And this is where we have our mind map poetry contest at the heart of what we're talking about, right? So this is the mind map. Then I'm going to talk to you about the poetry contest itself. What we're doing here is we're taking a look at concepts, jazz being the central concept. All of the words that you see in the map are linked to Credo concepts. So since we're general knowledge, general reference, whatever concept or search term you put in your search box, you're going to get a mind map with related concepts. So the concepts you see surrounding the word jazz are the words and concepts that you see with the most frequency when you're reading about jazz content in Credo's content as a whole. So this mind map, let me bring up this. The Mind Map Poetry Contest, and I have two handouts that are attached to the webinar that you can download right now. One is for you guys, the librarians, to kind of have the contest explained to you, which I'll do in just a moment. And the other one is student facing, and you can see that there's editable areas here that you can put your own local information into if you want to hold this contest on your own. So let's talk about what the poetry contest is. Log into Credo Reference, type in a search term, just like I did for jazz, find 5 words in the map, and create a poem from that map. Now, it doesn't have to be a poem that's 5 words long. You just have to use 5 words. You can use 1,000 other words, but link to them with 5. And that's kind of a sneaky way to get the kids in your library to say, oh my gosh, what is this resource, by the way? This is awesome. Maybe I should use it for school also. And we'll scroll down. We have all kinds of different suggestions for how you can have prizes, how to submit, who judges, whether it's librarians, local teachers, the public. We had a poetry slam contest at a public library that I worked in about 15 years ago, where we actually had a local bank act as a sponsor. And they donated a brand new computer for the winner of the teen library contest, for poetry contest, I should say. And we had the local high school English teachers be the judges. So you can really get your whole community involved in this mind map poetry contest. So that's what the library version looks like here. And this is what you can hand out to students or teens, or you can just completely customize for yourself. Now there's a number of different ways you can reward participants. Obviously, not every community is going to have this very generous, bank willing to donate content or donate a prize. So things like bragging rights, posting a photo in a place of honor. Kids love that kind of stuff. You can also post the winning poem being read by the poet on your Access Video on Demand database, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit as well. So let me go back to Credo and show you, this is right here, how you can get the kids to find and manipulate the mind map. Right now, if I told you, oh, choose 5 words from here, it's not a lot to choose from. So what you do is you click this little icon in the top left of the mind map, and now you can really dive into the content and the topic. So teens are supposed to choose one initial starting point. And I chose jazz. And it doesn't matter how frequently they click. I'll click on blues. Now they have more words to choose from. They started with jazz, but there's no rules in terms of how far away they wander from jazz to get to more content. And hopefully they'll be able to see kind of how neat this is, this tool is as a whole. And how does this work, by the way? I'll focus in on Bessie Smith. I'm going to now minimize my mind map and take a look at my result page. The entire thing now wraps around Bessie Smith. So you can hopefully see it's also a neat brainstorming tool for students. So you can take 5 words from that manipulated map and dive into your contest with that. And let me read to you the winning poem from the contest we held back in 2011. From a librarian, I believe. This was not for teens, this is for librarians, a contest we held at ALA. Cynthia Dudenhofer from the Smiley Memorial Library at Central Methodist University. She used the search term zombie, and the poem begins, "O noble zombie, satellite of Santeria, gangrenous goon, are you an imperialist puppet or merely an adulterated albatross? Hooligan of history, reincarnated doppelganger, please stop gnawing on my brains." So she basically threw in the word zombie, pulled out a bunch of interesting words, and built a poem around it. I do want to point out, whenever I do webinars like this, I like to have special guest databases that I show, because I said that we're going to be talking about Credo Reference and Access Video on Demand today. But I do want to throw in a special shout out to our Bloom's Literature database, which is also a fabulous database for public libraries and high school students. This has over 2,000 full text poems. So if you want to have a larger poetry study or poetry slam, or you want to get your kids really diving into poetry, you can absolutely use Bloom's Literature as a resource. So we've got a fantastic poetry list within this database. All right, so let's move over now. And now we're going to talk about, in the next 15 minutes, Access Video on Demand. And let me just get all my windows in order. So Access Video on Demand, we're going to talk about the Go Viral at Your Library contest. And this was basically a contest that we ran that we asked public libraries to ask their teens to make a 2-minute video commercial for their library. So it was a very specific task that they were given. Make a commercial, use all your iPhones, which you're constantly filming and tweeting and uploading videos anyway. So use your creativity for a positive reason and go talk about, how teens use the library from a very unique perspective. And it was a really fun project to run. What I want to talk about today, as far as go viral at your library, is not the contest itself, but the way you can use Access Video on Demand to run the contest, essentially. And that's me. Those images of me over on the right side of the screen there. What I did yesterday, or whatever day it is today, I don't even know. I actually do know today is June 3rd, and I know that because my birthday is tomorrow, June 4th. Anyway, so a couple days ago, I uploaded these videos, or I created them just by using my phone, and I used the Access Video on Demand custom content upload feature to add it to my Access Video on Demand collection. And you, the site administrators of Access Video on Demand, would be able to do that as well. Now, I need to make a side note. The teens themselves won't be able to upload their own videos onto your collection. You would be the sole arbiter, decider of who does that. But let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm not actually going to get into the bells and whistles of Access Video on Demand right now. I am going to talk a little bit about the back end of it, but I will give you like a super basic overview of Access Video on Demand. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. If you've made it to this webinar, I'm sure you've heard of Access Video on Demand in the past. You'll get access to over 41,000 streaming videos. And we're talking about documentaries, movies, tutorials, how-tos. We have a World Cinema add-on. We have a Just for Kids add-on. It's a great resource for cord cutters in your community. They'll be able to get some great movies they can watch at home, or documentaries, or how-to videos, what have you. That's the extent that I'm going to actually talk about the product Access Video on Demand. But take a look at, as I scroll down the page here, you're looking at a bunch of sliders, right? No more viruses. Like new releases here. Excuse me 1 second here. This always happens. I'm logged out for too long. So you have these sliders on your homepage, which are fully customizable. And this slider can be replaced by the videos that your teens create. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go, and by the way, all of these sliders, you can move them around. You can create your own sliders out of Access Video on Demand content, entirely make this homepage your own. So let me go to the My Resources area on the admin of Access Video on Demand. And the area of interest that I want to talk about today is the My Content area. And you'll see custom content. All Access Video on Demand subscriptions come with 10 free uploads of custom content. You can purchase additional content uploads if you want to, but for a purpose of hosting a video competition or just wanting to put videos up for special announcements, 10 is suitable because you can upload 10, you can delete 5, you can add 3 more, so it's always under 10, you're fine. So what I did is I uploaded these 5 videos just by using this very simple to use admin feature. And then I have the product settings area over here where it says homepage. And I made a slider and I named it Lisa's newly uploaded video content. So that's what I did. I can add, search and add new if I want to. I can rename anything. It's all very intuitive, very simple to use. And I see it listed in my sliders and I'm going to activate it. So that's been activated. And by the way, of course, you can come here and deactivate anything that's currently, that we've set up for you, whatever you like, it's fully customizable. Now I'm going to go back to my Access Video on Demand homepage. You'll see that new releases is still at the top, Pride Month, Best of Ken Burns still at the top. I've just activated my new custom content to be the top slider. So let me refresh my cache. And there I am. So this could be your teen videos. This could be your kids in your community and they would have a lot of bragging rights, and they'd be able to show their friends and show their family. And what's the added benefit of that? Their friends and family can applaud their hard work, but their friends and family will also say, what is this access video on demand? This is fabulous. And I have access to this from the public library. That's wonderful. So that's one thing that you can do in order to get, you can see like this is content is nothing. It's like 5 seconds long. But this is one way that you can get kids to or host the content. But maybe you'll say, what if we have 20 different videos, 20 different entries, and we don't want to just show 10 because that's not fair to the other 10 kids. Maybe you're going to use Access Video on Demand as a place where the judges can vote on their favorite videos. And if you have 20 videos, what are you supposed to do? That is where you can go back to my homepage here in custom content, my content. You can bring in your community or your public library's YouTube channel. Bring in all of that content and then add that content to your sliders. And it's super easy to do, custom channels. So let me see, I know that, let me go to right here. So this is the Credo channel. And let's say I wanted to add Boston Public Library. I'm located in Boston right now. So what I do is Boston Public Library. There it is. That's the YouTube channel that I'd like to stream on my Access Video. So this could very well be your library's YouTube channel or your city's community access channel, whatever YouTube channel you might have access to. I click it. The thing that I need is right here, right after the user / in the address bar. Sorry about that, went right into my headset. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to my web channel and I'm going to click New, Find by Name, and then paste exactly what I just took out of the address bar. And there it is. All I do is add the channel. It'll take a few minutes to get uploaded, but then all I have to do is it's activated. I did the same with New York Public Library and Credo Reference videos. Now all of the YouTube videos on these channels are searchable and can be added to your homepage sliders. Right, so I can just add and search for new items. So I can search within my custom content, which would include the YouTube channels for whatever additional videos I would want to add. So you have those 10 free uploads, which would be one video at a time, or you can link out and stream the YouTube channels in your community as well. So that's what I wanted to say in terms of how you can use Access Video on Demand in a creative way. I do want to give a shout out to East Baton Rouge Public Library, the winner of our Go Viral at Your Library video contest for teens in 2011, I think, gosh. So everyone you see in this video are now adults, which is amazing. And this was submit in a lot of creativity. There's gonna be no audio because I'm wearing a headset and you won't be able to hear it. I'll kind of talk over it, but you can see what I mean when I say these kids have creativity just jumping off and nothing but time in the library. So this East Baton Rouge video was made to basically demonstrate the commercial for their library is, if you're bored, go to the library and you'll be able to travel to just about any place in the world or any place in history. And you can see the kids had a ton of fun making this video as well. I giggle every time I see it. So that is the suggestion for Go Viral at Your Library. I put in the webinar, again, I mentioned 2 handouts, and I invite you to download those handouts for the poetry contest. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to take any questions that were written. Handouts are great. Hey, Lisa, if there are any questions. Oh, there's Angel. Hey, Angel. You're not hearing or seeing anything. I hope that wasn't a problem for most people. Thanks for the handouts. I've never heard of Access Video on Demand. Sheila, I'm glad you came. If you have any questions about Access Video on Demand, please ask away. And are there any other questions out there that I can take for you live? Any suggestions or anything else that we can do for you? I do want to take the time to thank you for coming today. And let me see, there's a question here. And just announce that we are going to be doing, oh, great, thanks, Greg. We'll be doing more webinars similar to this one in the coming weeks. I think we're doing a special webinar next month on the Access Video on Demand sort of subcategory or sub-product. I'll click on it right now just because I have time. Just for kids, for any of the, oh, this is just killing me. Any children's librarians in on the call who are unfamiliar with Just for Kids, it's the streaming video service related to Access Video on Demand, just aimed at kids. And we're going to be doing an Ask the Expert full product tour of this fabulous resource in July. So stay tuned for that. Any other questions out there? Thank you, Sheila. I appreciate it. And thank you for the happy birthdays, Jessica. I appreciate it. Hope wherever you are healthy and safe. And I hope you all have a great summer. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Jose. Are there any flyers that you can share that promotes this resource? Yes, Jose, as a follow-up, we're going to send you some flyers and other training material, as well as a link to our help page where we host a bunch of promotional and training material for our products. Thank you. All right, folks, I'm going to log off at this time. Again, thanks very much, and everyone, please stay healthy and stay safe. Have a great day.